The number one telltale sign you have a cortisol issue. Hi, my name is Megan. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner and functional blood chemistry specialist. And if you consistently wake up right around 3 a.m. almost every morning and have a hard time going back to sleep, it is really, really likely you have a cortisol issue. Now, why is this a problem and how do we start to address it? Well, cortisol issues are a really big problem. And if you consistently wake up at 3 a.m., I'm sure you already know this. Number one, you're probably tired a lot. Like you're just really tired all day long. You drink caffeine maybe, and you try and boost your energy levels up, and it doesn't do a great job. It might work, but it doesn't do a great job. And then when you go to sleep, you probably have trouble sleeping, whether it's trouble falling asleep. And if you're waking up at 3 a.m., obviously you're not staying asleep. So you're having sleep issues. Now, this is also a big issue because this impacts our body's natural ability to reset and recuperate overnight. This affects our body's stress levels inside and out. Cortisol is a stress hormone, anyways. And if we're not sleeping through the night, this is going to have a massive impact on our stress levels, which is also going to have an impact on our energy levels. And it's also going to have a really big impact on our weight. You may also have noticed that you have what's called cortisol belly, where you gain weight specifically or have a really hard time losing weight right around your belly, especially like the lower belly area. And it seems to be super stubborn and will not go away. You also may have issues with energy dips throughout the day, blood sugar regulation issues, cravings, all these other things that can come along with it. So how do we start to address this? Well, cortisol issues aren't so simple as, oh, we have high cortisol, oh, we have low cortisol. We have a cortisol curve, and there's some sort of issue going on with this curve, and the whole goal is to rebalance this curve. Now, the way our natural curve is supposed to work is we're kind of like here when we first wake up, and within about 30 minutes, this shoots up to our highest point throughout the day. And then slowly as we go throughout the day, it kind of comes down, levels out, and is at its lowest right before we go to sleep, which means that we should have a pretty easy time falling asleep and staying asleep. And if we're getting this 3 a.m. wake up, what we're actually doing is we're getting a cortisol and or adrenaline spike at 3 a.m., which is not supposed to happen. It's supposed to stay low until we wake up in the morning and then shoot right up, and we start the curve right over again. So a couple big things that you can start to do to start rebalancing your curve. The number one thing I always recommend to clients, if this is an option, is get your natural circadian rhythm back using natural light. It is one of the easiest things that you can do, and it's so simple. All you have to do is go outside and get some natural light in your eyes. So ideally, we're doing this first thing in the morning at the very least, like 5 to 20 minutes will suffice. And I'm not talking through a window or a car door. I actually get outside and get the natural light in your eyes. Whether it's raining, overcast, sunny, or not, it doesn't really matter. If it is overcast, ideally we're spending closer to like 10 to 20 minutes versus closer to 5 minutes. If you can also do this throughout the day, this will also be super beneficial. If you can get right around noontime, if you can get a few minutes outside, if around sunset you get a few minutes out there, even better. Next thing, eat breakfast. Eat breakfast within about an hour to an hour and a half of waking up. The closer you can get to an hour, the better. And ideally, you're going to have something that has good source of protein and some fat. Carbohydrates are also beneficial at this time and not going too low carb. The last thing I'll say in this video is don't do anything else crazy to stress your body out. Now, there's only so much we can do about external stress. We're all going to have certain external stresses in our lives. Only so much that we can do about that. But we can do some other things as far as internal stressors. So, and doing like crazy extreme things. So, no crazy caloric deficit. I know you might want to lose weight. I know you might want to get rid of that belly fat, but do not do a crazy caloric deficit because that's going to be so stressful on your body, and that is not going to help anything. I've seen so many people come to me super low calorie, not losing any weight, no matter what they do. And a big reason because their body's so stressed out. And when we start to give them some more food and lower these stress levels via a variety of methods, the weight starts to come off and we start to see some noticeable changes in their body. The next thing would be do not over exercise. One of the worst things you can do when you have cortisol dysregulation issues is do high intensity interval training. Do anything where you're spiking your heart rate up super high, super intense, really, really sweating, like a really tough workout. I know it might feel good in the moment because you are going to get that cortisol spike during the workout. But afterwards, I bet you feel kind of tired, kind of fatigued pretty soon after, within probably about 30 minutes, because those cortisol and adrenaline levels are coming back down. Yes, movement is super good. Walking, Pilates, yoga, strength training, as long as you're not overdoing it for your own fitness level, and keep your heart rate on the lower end. Also, keep the workout on the shorter end. I usually tell my clients nothing more than about 30 to 45 minutes while we're starting the initial process. And this is a short term thing while we work on the cortisol issues and anything else going on, but we have to do this temporarily. So be sure to follow for more, and I'd love to share more tips and tricks with you about how to feel your very best.